Hello, and welcome to another segment in our ongoing educational series here at flexiblepvc.net. In this segment, we will learn about the manufacture, properties, and uses of non-kink water garden pond hose. In addition, we will learn how to measure before ordering our non-kink hose, as well as what to expect once our hose arrives. Thank you for joining us today. We're glad you're here. Now, let's get started. What is non-kink water garden pond hose? Our non-kink water garden pond hose is called many different names by different people and in different applications, such as non-kink hose, kink-free hose, water garden hose, pond hose or pond tubing, flex pond hose, corrugated hose or corrugated tubing, waterfall hose, fountain hose, and many other names that we probably haven't even heard of yet. What is non-kink hose used for? Our non-kink hose is perfect for use with water, light chemicals, and other agricultural, irrigation, marine, metals prospecting, and construction fluids. It is specifically designed for use in low to medium pressure applications for pond and water garden pumps, waterfalls, sterilizers, drains and filters, light farming and gardening, and aquariums and fish hatcheries. It is non-toxic and safe for fish and plants. It is easily transported and stored in its coiled position. What are the differences between non-kink and flexible PVC pipe? Well, our non-kink water garden pond hose is more flexible than our flexible PVC. It can make tighter turns than our flexible PVC. It is meant for lower pressure applications than our flexible PVC. It is corrugated or ribbed on the outside while remaining smooth on the inside. And it is meant to be used with barbed or insert fittings and absolutely cannot be glued. Our flexible PVC pipe, on the other hand, is not as flexible as non-kink hose. Cannot make turns as tight as our non-kink hose. Is meant for higher pressure applications than our non-kink hose. Is smooth both on the inside and on the outside. It is resistant to more chemicals than our non-kink hose. It is more crush resistant than our non-kink hose. And it is Schedule 40 sized and is meant to be glued using standard Schedule 40 fittings. How is non-kink hose made? Our non-kink hose is manufactured using two different types of PVC. One is a flexible PVC compound, and the other is a more rigid PVC compound. The flexible PVC material is extruded into a flexible tube. The more rigid PVC material is then extruded into a reinforcing helix, which is wound into the outer core of the flexible tube, thus creating a corrugated hose. This helix protrudes on the outside of the hose and provides stability and strength to help resist bursting, crushing, and impact issues. Our non-kink hose is one of the most durable non-kink hoses in the industry. It is strong, yet lightweight. It resists twisting and kinking, and it is mildew-proof. What are some common uses for non-kink hose? It is ideally suited for use in the installation and maintenance of water gardens, koi ponds, waterfalls, fountains, aquariums and fish hatcheries, drains, light farming and gardening, light irrigation, and other similar water transfer applications where flexibility and ease of use is demanded. It can be coupled with barbed or insert connections using a variety of hose clamps, but it is not meant to be glued into or onto fittings under any circumstances. How do I know what size non-kink hose I need to order? Deciding what size non-kink hose to order can be a bit challenging. There is no standard size for non-kink hose, and as a result, two different standards have emerged. One is UL and one is MM. UL is slightly larger than the MM size. You measure across the outside diameter of the output fitting on your pump or other output device without the barbs. In this example, we measure slightly under 1 1/2 inches, so we would order a 1 1/2 inch or metric sized hose. As we mentioned on our last slide, the UL sized fittings and hose are slightly larger than the sized fittings and hose. In our example of 1 1/2 inch fittings, you can clearly see that the fitting, which is represented in black here, measures approximately 1/16 to 1/8 of an inch smaller than the UL fitting, which was represented here in gray. There are several different types of clamps that can be used with non-kink hose. We feel the best clamp is the corrugated hose clamp, because it is made with wires that actually fit into the corrugations on your hose. However, you can also use standard hose clamps or radiator clamps. Be careful to not over-tighten these clamps, though, because that can cause irreparable damage to the rigid helix of the hose, potentially causing leakage. Since non-kink hose is not made to be glued, selection of your hose clamps is very important. There are a number of different options available for clamping flexible hose onto a fitting. This worm drive clamp is an inexpensive option. It has a single band which tightens against the hose. While not the optimal method for clamping corrugated tubing, it will work, but it should always be double clamped. This dual bead or dual band worm drive clamp is a better option. The inner liner of this clamp provides spring action and concentrates band sealing pressure, providing 30% more sealing performance than the standard clamp we just showed you. Flanged edges on the clamping surface protect soft hose compounds. These spiral hose or corrugated hose clamps are the best option. While not the least expensive, you can clearly see that these clamps have wires that securely fit in the ridges or flutes of your corrugated hose for maximum clamping pressure and less hose flattening. So, based upon our measurement, we ordered a 1 1/2 inch non-kink hose. We also ordered a clamp or clamps that would support a 1 1/2 inch opening or hose. Before you place your hose over the fitting, be certain to place your hose clamp, or clamps if you are double clamping, onto your hose. Double clamping provides a more secure and watertight fit. Simply slide the hose onto the fitting. Your fit should be very snug, but you should not need to force the hose with heavy force onto the fitting. Excessive force can cause the hose to split during installation, or worse, in service. Position your clamps directly over the barbs on your fittings. Tighten your clamp or clamps until snug. This is generally 1/2 turn after the clamp screw becomes difficult to turn. Over-tightening may cause damage to the hose or to the fitting. Under no circumstances should you try to glue the hose to the fitting. Irreparable damage will occur. Thank you for joining us for this segment of our ongoing educational series, learning all about non-kink pond hose. We here at Flexible PVC value your time and appreciate your interest and attention. Please join us again soon for another opportunity to learn at flexiblepvc.net.